Hello, I'm Genevieve Bly from the Australian Institute of International Affairs. So I'll be talking to Michael Sheldrick, who is the Global Advocacy Director at the Global Poverty Project in New York. At this exciting week in Canberra, which has been the budget, and we'll be talking about its impact on foreign aid. So, Michael, what has been happening in the budget and what has it said about aid?
So what we're seeing in this year's budget, and that was delivered last night, first one under the Turnbull government, is not a great outcome for international development. In fact, we're seeing one of the largest ever cuts to our Australian aid program. And in fact, what this has done is taken us to the lowest levels ever. We're given just 0.23% of our gross national income, 23 cents in every 100 Australian taxpayers' dollars in international development assistance. Compared to the rest of the world, we're far below averages. So in terms of are we being a generous nation, are we helping our most vulnerable? You've got to say that no, we are not. And look, on the one hand, this is not just morally the right thing to do. Yes, it's about ending preventable diseases like polio, eradicated malaria in our region. This is critical and it is the right thing to do. But even if you don't think it's the right thing to do, even if you don't think it's the right thing to give a kid somewhere in our region a 13-cent vaccine, consider this. By investing in our region, investing in ending child mortality, reducing preventable child deaths, you're also investing in our own economic prosperity and national security. You protect a kid with a vaccine from dying. Who's to say that kid doesn't grow up to be a future consumer of Australian goods and services? A healthy, productive citizen. Who's to say they're not going to be radicalized and fall prey to extremist groups? So this is really what this is about. This is about investing in our national security as well as doing the right thing.
So why do you think the aid budget should be increased?
So, I think often we tend to see aid as one of those feel-good, lefty things, which when the times are good, we give it plenty, and when the times are bad, we don't give it all. But really, my view is we should look at aid in the same way we look at military spending. Now, in February, we saw the release of the white paper, and look, far be it from me to comment on the merits, but one of the things the Turnbull government did is they said, we will ring fence this. We are going to increase our investment in defence irrespective of the general health of the economy. Why don't we have the same approach to aid? Because if we look at aid as not just something we do as charity, but actually a strategic investment in our region, then it's something that we should be investing in and see as crucial to our region's prosperity, stability over the long term. So I mean, investing in the Middle East, investing in our region. When we invest in education, when we invest in a child's development so that they can think critically, research has shown that this prevents them from falling prey to extremist groups and other ideologies out there.
Okay. And with the lead up to the next election, what do you foresee will happen in terms of aid?
Look, I think all eyes are now looking at what the Labor Party will do on this issue ahead of the election. What we've seen over the last couple of years is Tanya Plibersek has certainly been outspoken, but we're still waiting for what their response is going to be. And I would like to see the Labor Party immediately come out and say that if elected on July 2nd, we will reverse these cuts and pledge to build back our support for international development. And of course, hopefully, with the current government, if they're elected, that they too will see this as something that they need to support as well. But I would encourage all Australians and all of your members out there who care about these issues to write, email, phone their local candidates and tell them that this is an issue that should be above politics. Liberal, Labor, Greens, doesn't really matter, and this is something that they should support.
And on that note, what does the Global Poverty Project actually achieve? What does it try to do?
So we're a movement of between 7 to 8 million members around the world. Our view is that in order to end extreme poverty, politicians need to be pushed and they need to be held accountable to the promises they've made. Last year we had the Sustainable Development Goals to end extreme poverty by 2030. And our view is that we need a movement to hold them accountable to deliver on these promises. So our 7 to 8 million global citizens around the world, they tweet world leaders, they sign petitions, they email members of parliament, they pick up the phone to treasury departments and other places, they send tweets and shut down foreign ministers' Twitter accounts and all of the rest of it to remind them. Generally they're just being agitators and reminding them that we are here, we care about these issues and you guys need to do something about this. And in Australia in particular, we've got tens of thousands of supporters, but we're always looking to build that, and one thing that your members can do is help us get the word out. They can go to globalcitizen.org, they can sign up and take action, because over the coming weeks in the lead up to the election it's going to be critical, but also post-election as well. There's going to be maybe a lot of new members of parliament that we need to engage with and say that this is an issue you need to get behind.
Okay, well thank you for that, and thank you for your insights in continuing this discussion. So to hear more about the Australian Institute of International Affairs, please visit internationalaffairs.org.au.